In this video, we will discover texture paint and we will see a little the features that we have in this here in this tab. So first of all, let's remove maybe this cube and all the objects. I take just a default file here and I will add just a monkey here, and with Ctrl 2 I will add a subdivision modifier, make a shade smooth, and we will start to work on that. Now we will go into texture paint and we see that our object is pink. So it means that we need a texture here. So to create this texture, we'll just create a new texture, call it Suzanne Paint. Okay. You can increase the details of the texture if you need. So if you want some fine painting, you can increase this level. It's good to always keep to multiply by 2 these values to have it will not be a problem if you just take 2000, but it will be more efficient if you make 2048. So here you can create a color if needed, or create a UV grid or whatever. We'll just take a black value here and create a new image. By default, nothing has happened because we don't have this image into our shader. So we'll just create a new shader here. And by searching this Suzanne Paint texture, we will just click and drag the texture and put it into the base color. So now Blender will recognize that there is a texture here and that we can paint on it. So what is good with this technique is that you can just choose your basic color that you want to paint with and just draw and paint. It's that easy. You can paint here as well. If you choose the paint mode, you can go into paint here and you can play with painting as well into the 2D view with the UV layout. Okay, so it can be a good way to paint. Now we have several tools and I would like to show you these tools before continuing. So we have here some new interface tools that you have here that are already in this kind of presets values here. And here you have some the tools themselves. So here you have the brush, okay? Here you have the blur. So for example, if I make a brush like that, okay, just maybe with something hard, I will choose hard paint, okay, over there. Good. So now if I choose the blur, so and I go to it, it will blur as it says. If I use Control, it will sharpen, but it doesn't work really well. You have here you have the finger, okay, to move things like this. You have the clone, and with the clone you just make Alt left click, Alt Shift right click, I think, maybe. Yeah, I have to choose the clone first. So when you make just Control click, sorry, and now you can just copy what you have, okay, just like that. Very simple. And here you have the fill, so you will fill the entire model with a color here that is here. And here you have the mask, so it can be useful for masking as well. So you have different kind of presets. Here you have the erase, here you have the erase hard, here you have the erase soft, here you have the fill, you have the paint hard, it's just a modification of this one. You have the paint R with pressure, so if you use a tablet or something like that, graphic tablet, here, yeah, for sure, if you want to paint on models, having a graphic tablet will be very, very efficient and very comfortable to work with. And I cannot tell that you have to use that. But here, for the purpose of this training, I will just use the mouse for show you how it works. Okay, so here you have the paint soft. It's just a variation of the painting here. And here the paints of pressure, and there you have the smear and different kind of It's just the presets here that you have with more appeals into it, okay? So what we can do now is just use the presets and see how it works. Basically, I will just use Paint here to show you the basic options. And we will take the Paint Soft here just by default. If I change the color, I paint in red, okay? So if I take another color here with Control click, I will use the blue. So left click, Control left click, okay? So can be easy to manage. You can paint here with symmetry if needed, okay? You can paint like that. And you can paint with gradient if needed, and it's not really useful for that, but I will use here more the palette for show you how to work with the color palette. So here, let's say you want to work with skin shader, okay, and you would like some skin colors to work with. So you will take just some colors here, maybe somewhere here, okay, just to go into different kind of skin colors, okay, and you can add some colors very easily like that. Now I will make a variation with darker, okay, and another variation with something with more saturation, and another with something, and another here with something with more saturation and less value, and more value, sorry. Maybe a little more into the red over there, okay? And so I can play with there's different texture, there's different colors here into my project. Like for example here, I will just fill Suzanne with this color over there, and then after I can come back to my object and start to add some different colors and variations of colors into it, just like that, okay? So you will have always these colors, and it's useful to use it like this. So you have the possibility to use some textures, and we will come back into it, textures mask as well, but it will be an entire video about that. Here we have the stroke, and the stroke is important to understand. So you have different stroke methods here. I will take just a black value here over there. So you have the space, and if I just click and drag, remove the symmetry like this. If I just click and drag, I will just have a kind of stroke like that, okay? If I increase the spacing, if I decrease the spacing like 0.5, I will have more. It's kind of dots that will so it will be sharpened, okay? And if I increase this value like 50%, for example, you can see that I can see the dots now. And if I put a big value like 200, you will have a dot like that, okay? Sometimes it can be useful, but yeah, mostly 10% works well with this value, okay? You have a jitter that can be interesting as well. Jitter will create a kind of randomness of the dots like this. Sometimes it can be useful as well, okay? And so here mostly it's for the space. So I just decreased the jitter over there. You have the stabilized stroke that is very important if you want to make some precise things. Like for example here, I will just click and I will have a delay. And now I will make only soft turns like this, okay? So it can be good to create organic shapes like this. So it can be interesting. You can increase the radius of the stabilization if needed, or decrease it. Here you have the dots, the space, the drag dots. I will just show you a few. We have the anchored, so here you will just click and drag and it will create something like that. So sometimes can be useful as well. Different way of painting. Here you have the line that is very important if you want to create geometric shapes. Click and drag just like this. very easy to understand. Okay, so this one is easy. And another one that can be useful as well is the curve. So you create a curve here, and just with control right click, you will create a curve. Okay, and this curve will be your stroke here. So you just draw the curve, and it should be like this. When you click on enter, and you will have the curve that is drawn. So yeah, very good one as well to make some precise designs. And just after, you can move your curve if needed. For example, you can make a G here, a rotation like this on this curve object. It's not really a curve object, it's a curve inside texture paint, and you click on enter again and it will draw again. Okay, so it can be useful sometimes. I just make Ctrl Z, come back until there. Yeah, and I will remove this paint curve. So here you have a few strokes method that you can use, as you did see. Okay, you have here the fall off. So the fall off, I will come back to space to show you that. So the fall off will create a smooth value around your stroke. So here, if I make a stroke again, okay, you can see that it's soft around. I can use here different fall off options, like for example the sphere, and it will create something sharper. Okay, so yeah, can be useful in some cases, even if now you have the paint hard that works pretty well directly like this. Okay, so you have the normal fall off as well, and something that is important you have the symmetry here, and the options here you have the occlude. So for example, if I just click and drag, I will not paint into the other side. It's the occlude here. So if I just remove those two options here, I will just click and drag and it will draw into the other side. So in some cases, it can be very interesting as well. Okay, you have the normal fall off with an angle. So if I draw here, you can see that after an angle, it will start to decrease, and it's the normal fall off here. So if I just disable that, I will just click and drag, even on the edge like this, it will draw like that. Okay, so in some cases it can be useful to remove normal fall off as well. Okay, so that's it for the main options. For the shortcuts that you will always use here, I will come back into the screencast keys again like this. It will show what I do. Okay, so the main shortcuts that you will use always is click, control click. Okay, right click, you will see the radius and the strength and the basic color that you can find into the color wheel. Okay, and then after, you will have the possibility to make it with shortcut with F. F makes a bigger or less big tool like this. Okay, so F, and Shift F to control here the strength of it. So Shift F, click and drag here. Okay, just click and drag into the left side like this, and you will see that you can decrease the strength of your object. So it will change here the strength over there. You have different mixing possibilities in case you want to paint with different mixing values, a little like the Photoshop, mixing values, or what we did use into the shaders for mixing nodes. So it's the different options here. Most of the time you can play with mix, just a normal one, it will work as expected. And here, so yeah, you can play with the different options of the symmetry if needed. For example, here you will have the possibility to use the X, but there is another options that Another option that can be interesting, you can play with 2 or 3 values if needed, and just make a click, and it will make a click. It will make a stroke over the different options that you did choose over there. So here, that's it for the basic using of the texture paint. We will see 2 different little exercises for this, and we will discover that with applying a makeup to a character first of all, and we will see how to use these basic options to add a little style to a character.